Hey everybody, I'm Philip, and today I am finally getting back to Doom Patrol, Season 1, Episode 9. It has been a long time. The last time I watched Episode 8 was pre-COVID, pre-shingles, pre-inner ear infection, pre-all the crazy stuff that's been happening in my life the last few months. It's been so long, I don't remember what color this light was when I had it on before. Maybe it was green. I don't remember. What I do remember is parts of the plot. In the last episode, we went to Danny Street. We had Larry and Cyborg. They went to Danny Street. And then Rita and Jane and Cliff were with one of Jane's alternate personalities who could control people and make them do whatever she wanted. Fall in love with her and all that stuff. And then we ended with Jane falling down to the underground where all her personalities live. And I believe that's where we left off. So, enough yammering from me. Excited to get back into it. Without further ado, let's get into it. Oh shit. Oh shit. Like they're actual physical personas. Huh.
Just do your job.
The fuck you know about my job, Polly? Like it's easy being up there, like it's a cakewalk. Shit's hard as fuck. And even then, it can't fix everything. I hear you. What happens if someone pulls it? I would imagine it would fuck up the train. Until I fixed it. How long would that take? How much time do you need?
This is all my fault. I never should have pushed us into therapy.
Well, don't flatter yourself, Cliff. Therapy was the rat's idea. Jane, sweetie, blink if you can hear me.
Shrink ourselves magic school bus style and get inside her head. What?
Oh, I'm just marveling at your embrace of the weird and utterly impossible.
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh shit. Like Brendan Fraser's even walking, like, not sure if that's on purpose or not, but that's a bit of continuity.
Can you help me find Jane? I'm here to bring her back.
Let me make some calls.
Uh-oh.
It doesn't bother you that you don't know who this belongs to?
Memories belong to everyone. That's how it works here. Everyone knows that.
Yep. I knew it.
Shit for brains.
Hammerhead?
Yeah, Einstein.
Excuse me, who the fuck are you?
Full of Bill, asshole.
Is this like some grand romantic gesture or something? You're really going the extra mile here, Cliffy. That's deep.
No, I'm here for Jane. She's in a lot of trouble. She needs my help. This is me trying to fix a big, dumb mistake that I made.
She'll never give you what Dougie and I have.
To the well, to the well.
But I...
Miranda was looking for answers too.
I'm not Miranda.
Point is, they told her the same thing. The sisters want everyone to go to the well. I run. That's my job.
Exactly. So fuck off.
Right, come with me.
Hey, where are you taking her?
Up your ass, maybe?
What happened to your...
Stammer
Yeah.
comes with my general anxiety. Listen,
Me too.
Jane's in trouble. Sometimes the darker memories are stuck to the nicer ones. You never know. The mind is a crazy thing.
To review, class. The primary cause of the Civil War was Abraham Lincoln. Poor Southern farmers were forced to band together to keep their farms from nationalization.
Okay, that does not sound right.
I'm not Kay. My name's Miranda.
Who's Miranda?
She was a primary. Told you not to look. Which is why we have to stop her.
The well is so dangerous. Why does Jane want to go there? I don't get it. Why is this memory buried so deep? This is good.
Long before you got
For you, maybe. For us, it was the beginning of everything going sideways.
I don't understand.
You gave her hope.
Then I'll be a father to you just the same.
You don't want to be my father? I've been waiting for you to say that. I really, really needed that.
Really?
Fuck no! Get out of my head, asshole!
Jesus.
These aren't your secrets to share.
They belong to the underground. I can bloody well share what I want.
What was I supposed to do? Pick her up and carry her? I've tried that. Didn't go well.
I don't know who you need me to be. I know you're a memory, but I don't know where to turn, or who I can trust, or if I can.
That's my good girl.
Wow.
I'm here for Jane.
Ooh.
I'm not a man. I used to be. I was a different person then.
You are no man.
Jane?
Sweet baby.
No one tells. Tell no one.
Sweet, sweet baby. Come join me! Jane, what the hell is that? This is you! It's not your father! This isn't even real! It's all in your head! Fuck you! Jane, wake up! Jane, please! No!
I hate you, you filthy, disgusting man! I am not afraid of you!
What the hell happened here?
Long story.
What happened in there?
It's not my story to tell. The good thing is she's back. And I think she's better.
Sweet, sweet baby.
Man, that was powerful. Wow. Equal parts gross and but also empowering. I think it's cool we get more of an insight to Jane as a person. I mean, she's all these personalities, but she is the primary. We find out that she wasn't the first. She wasn't the main primary. It went from Kay to Miranda, Miranda to Jane. And in this one, we find out not only when she fractured during those moments, or that particular moment built up over time, I would assume, unfortunately, due to the puzzle being more and more complete as it went on. But I thought it was a good visual representation of not just the underground. I thought it was really freaking cool. We got to see all the personalities that they are. Majority of them seem to be their own distinct, like, you know, Hammerhead doesn't look like Jane. Penny Farthing doesn't look like Jane or Kay. But as I've said before, we're gonna call her Jane because it's easier. That was cool. Like, just when she lands there and you see all these different personalities surrounding her, and it's like, holy shit, this is what they really look like. That was cool. That was really, really cool. Hammerhead looked badass. Like, Hammerhead looked like you would think Hammerhead would look like. So that was really cool. Just, yeah, so much to digest from this, not just the personalities and the person that Kay is, that Jane is the primary for, went to the well because the sisters led her there, which is interesting to think about, that the sisters are also personalities, but they're malevolent personalities, and they send the primaries to the well to essentially be taken out of the spot. I want to say erased, because Miranda's still there in a memory at least, but I would assume as an actual personality, she's gone. Intriguing that the sisters would send the primaries to the well. For what purpose? Like, there has to be some kind of, maybe we'll find out in the future. I don't know. I'm only on episode 9. So I will say it was worth the wait. I had wanted to get back to this when I could, when I felt comfortable doing it. And this is a good episode to come back to. And I have historically had reservations about Jane's character, how annoying and mean-spirited she is. But I also always conceded that she's fractured. Like, literally fractured in her mind. She's fractured not just as a person, but also in her mind. We find out more of the backstory, more of the seedy, dark, disgusting origin story, which essentially what this is. This is Jane's or Kay's or Miranda's origin story. When Kay fractured, when she splintered the first time in that very powerful scene. You get to the end where you have like Puzzle Daddy Nato stands up to him and says, "I'm not afraid of you," and it just makes you wonder if the well is the deepest subconscious of Kay's mind, and in there is where the evil gets its straight up evil. That is her dad resides, because he came out of the well in puzzle form, which is obviously, a metaphor for what the puzzle means in relation to what he did to her. But obviously that's where like the presence of him seems to live. So that the sisters would willingly send the primary there is really skeevy. And I do wonder what the sisters' agenda is, if there even is one. Maybe they just want to cause mischief and they get a kick out of, messing with people and sending them to their death. I don't know. It was just I said, really powerful to see this and to know that an unfortunate turn of fate to like. I mean, I grew up myself in an abusive household, not like that, but abusive nonetheless, to the point that children's services came to my school twice in 1st and 3rd grade to talk to me, and I did the whole oh, I fell, and that kind of thing. So it's just, and I often wondered growing up, like, what if I'd been born into another family? What if I'd been born to a mom that wasn't a massive drug addict? What if I'd been born to, in a different circumstance? And it could have been worse. But when I see things like this, I think it reminds me of that, because, again, I have the penny farthing stammer whenever I get, that's also a childhood thing as well as why I pick and bite my fingers. Anxiety is a bitch, especially when you are a little child trying to deal with it, just like in the show. So it's another thing where, like, I talk about how I can identify with certain things in the episodes, as we from Larry's story and the struggle and all that. And so I thankfully can't identify on that level that the character of Jane has been subjected to, but in my own way, haven't been abused physically and emotionally and verbally and all that stuff growing up. I can identify with the dreamland state of things. I often wonder if I'm so keen on my imagination to this day. Like, typically when you grow up into adulthood, you leave your imagination behind. All that, the wonder and all that is gone. But for me, it hasn't been. For me, I've held on to it. I have very distinct imagination. Like, I wouldn't even call them like they're not like obvious like this, but I have 3 very distinct imagination lands that I can go to and that I visit quite often. I've nurtured them since I was a kid. And I know that sounds really corny, it might sound really weird, and really might paint me as a really just weirdo person, but I'm not ashamed to talk about it. My life has shaped me into who I am to this day, and as everyone has. Some people just bury it and try and run from it. Others of us try and have dealt with it and do what we can with the hand we were dealt, which is what I was getting at. When you're in these situations like this, where you're in a less than ideal situation, be it family or relatives or whatever your demon is, you wonder, what if it'd been different? What if I'd been, especially when I would go over to friends' houses and, their moms would be stable. And I'm not saying my mom didn't love me. I will never say that. I know she did. And we did have a bond. I just think she took that bond for granted. It's like if somebody breaks into your house and you forgive them and they say they're sorry, okay. But if you break into my house again, you say you're sorry, okay. But if you do it again and again and again and again and again, and then somebody's like, enough, you're not allowed in my house anymore. You're not allowed, you're not allowed on my property anymore. And then you act like the victim, like, you're putting me, how could you do this to me? Like, there's a limit. And only a narcissist and a sociopath would think that they can just get away with anything they want and then always be the victim because their own victimization allows them to have carte blanche in your life, in anyone's life. And I know this is getting deeper, as this always does, this damn show. Damn it. Damn you, Doom Patrol. But no, I just get it. I get the fracturing. I get the running away. I get for me, the idea of the grass is greener. I go to friends' houses and, see the family structure. And maybe it wasn't. Maybe when I left, there was dysfunction. Every family is dysfunctional in some way. But I got to go there. I was going to tell a story. I'm not going to tell that story. It is my story to tell, but I don't want to bring that one up right now. Once again, on personal levels, this random show that I started watching because TJ asked me to many moons ago resonates with me on a personal level. But as far as the show itself, this episode, as said, it did such a good job of the portrayal of the underground, of all the personalities, of the underlying emotional scarring, and the nexus of what has caused Kay to become Miranda, to become Jane. And it's very interesting that once Miranda was went to the well and was taken out as the primary, did the other personalities make Jane go? Did she volunteer to go? Was she next in line? It's like after Jane, is there like a third person? Is it like the presidential like hierarchy? If the president, then it's vice president goes down the chain. Was Jane the vice president? Or would Miranda have been the vice president? Then Jane is because Kay would have been the president. I don't know. Maybe we'll get answers in the future. Maybe we won't. If we don't, it's fun to think about. Should be proud of me. I stopped myself before I went down my weirdo freaking rabbit hole of Lord. Come for the reaction. Stay for the psychological deep dive into Philip's mind. Yay. All right, y'all, let's go to the notes.
Philip's notes.
All right, so I start off in Arkansas, 1957. I've been to Arkansas. Not that it matters. I just thought I would, throw that out there. And then I wrote, we're in the underground. We get actual physical appearances, physical representations. They were cool. They were really cool. I like them a lot. And then Jane doesn't want to go back to the surface because it's hard and it sucks and all this stuff. And so Driver 8, another one of the personalities who runs the train car, is taking her back, and Jane's asking, about the emergency brake, how long would that take to fix the train? And Driver 8 asks, how much time do you need? I liked that a lot. I thought that was really, really cool. I also like the idea of Penny being at that, by the gazebo looking thing, having a little picnic, but no one knows whose memory it is. Then we find out it's the freaking puzzle. Like, holy crap. That being like a safe space is just holy shit. Like, damn. Just damn. But then the energy spirit leaves Larry and ends up touching both Jane and Cliff's heads, and Cliff goes into the underground. But at first, Cliff is, human, Brendan Fraser. And I thought that was cool. I thought it was cool that the underground shows you as how you are. Hammerhead looks like Hammerhead, and Cliff looks human. Turns out it was also an illusion. But at the time, I thought it was cool that, it makes you who and or what you actually are, I thought. And they'll get that back and forth between Penny and Jane, where, about whose memory is this and all this stuff. And then Penny says, memories belong to everyone. That's how it works down here. Thought that was cool too. Like all these memories from Kay to Miranda to Jane are, shuffled in the underground somewhere, but they belong to everyone because everyone is Kay. I love when Cliff was in the jail cell next to Karen, and Karen is just like the creepiest, most hallmark romantic ever. When she finds out that Cliff is there to rescue Jane, she asks, "Is that like some romantic gesture?" And he's like, "No, I'm here just to help her." She's like, "Oh." Like I just love that Karen is so fixated on everything being like romantic and just like flowers and puppies and roses. And I also like that she said what her and her fiance's name, who I don't remember right now, that she said what they had was real because it was normal. The idea that she's manipulating the situation because she wants normalcy so bad because everything else is so chaotic. Because it's got to be, there's an underground full of like 63 other personalities. So, holy crap. And Karen just took over because she just wanted everything to be normal and just all that. So you can see it from her point of view. I thought it was funny that she was so fixated on the romance side of things. And then you get a little, a little deeper glimpse into why she did what she did, even if it was manipulative and she's a little crazy. Then we find out that Miranda was looking for answers too, and the sisters told her to go to the well. So I'm not sure what Miranda's reasoning was, if Miranda was tired of it like Jane is, or if Miranda legitimately wanted answers. And the sisters, led her down the path to self-destruction, essentially. I find that whole thing with the sisters and all that very, very intriguing. But then there's a scene with Kay in school, and the teacher's like, "Kay, are you with us?" And she says, "I'm not Kay, I'm Miranda." Because the split had already happened. We saw it later when it did happen, but by then, Kay is locked away somewhere, and Miranda is in control of the primary. And then Penny and Cliff are wandering through the memories, and they come upon the memory of Jane and Cliff standing outside of Doom Manor, and when Jane's painting, he's like, why is this here? This is a good memory. And Penny says, "For us, it was the beginning of everything going sideways." Cliff says, "I don't understand." And Penny says, "You gave her hope." And yeah, imagine, the more we learn about Jane, I still think she's aggressively mean. I get why, I do. It gets a little taxing sometimes. But again, I didn't know this because I wasn't here yet. I don't know what's going to happen in the next few episodes because I'm not there yet. Just the idea of just a glimmer of hope can just cause everything to go astray, because being blocked off and and building the walls around you, which I know all too well about that, blocking people out and all that stuff, and not trusting people, but at the same time wanting to be loved and accepted so bad, but you don't trust anyone because what you know of love is pain. What you know of love is anguish and tears and bruises and cuts and bleeding and abuse. You know love is abuse. So you build these walls around yourself to not trust anyone, but you really, more than anything, want to. You want to trust someone. You want someone to scale your walls and rescue you, which Cliff was trying to do. And I totally get that. I totally get Jane being like, "Go the fuck you, go away," because you're going to be, hard and aggressive, because that's what you know. That's your safety net, is to keep people at arm's length. Go the fuck away. Fuck you. I've said that to people who have tried to help me. That scene with Jane and Cliff in the corridor, I've been there. And I look back now and I'm like, oh man, that was shitty of me, and I'm sorry. At the time, I had my reasons, and trust is a hard thing to earn when you've grown up learning to not trust anything or anyone. Because the people that are nice to you, well, why are you nice to me? What do you want? If I let my guard down, what are you going to do? I can't. Once you get to an age, you can have some semblance of control over yourself as a person, autonomy. I 100% get being guarded and being, wary, because I've been there, and it's self-preservation. Because at the end of the day, you have to do for you. You have to put yourself first, especially if you come from a background like this, like mine. Eventually, you have enough. You say, "Fuck it, I'm done." and you grow cold to the world. And I did for a long time. But then the irony is, underneath it all, you yearn to be loved. You yearn for acceptance, be it from friends or from, a companion. You want it. You do. I'm not speaking for everybody, but in the grand scheme of my own experience, I wanted it. I wanted compassion and acceptance and people to like me for me. Let's just say, me being taken for granted and being abused mentally and emotionally, it just doesn't run in the family. It extended to friendships. And, when your longest friend, you realize 25 years too late that they never really liked you. They only tolerated you because they felt they had to. And then you cut the cord. The biggest defense mechanism I ever taught myself is to cut you out of my life and never look back. Because once I put myself first, once I put my own health and well-being first, it became easy. If you are toxic, if you are dramatic, if you're manipulative, that's why I don't talk to 99% of my family, because they are. My motto has always been, and I've learned the hard way, and this goes for anyone out there who is watching and has heard this. If someone says, oh no, you can trust me. No, tell me you can trust me. No, you can trust me. You can't. The person you can trust will not tell you can trust them. The person you can trust will just prove to you that you can trust them. The biggest lesson I learned, the best gift I gave myself, was to cut and run. I know it's a defense mechanism. It works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. I'm not saying that is something you should do. For me, if you're in any way a bad person, then you don't need to be in my life. Because you're draining my energy and my battery. I have enough shit going on in my life as it is. I'm not trying to say, here's how you should live your life, or here's what you should do. I'm just saying, it's what works for me. I have the ability to cut people out of my life and move on and never look back. I don't regret. I don't ponder. It's one of the few times I don't what if. I what if a lot of things in my life, a lot of mistakes that I've made. If I'd done something different, would I be somewhere else? But any of those, no. People I've cut out for a reason. Like if I don't have the energy to want you in my life, I don't have the energy to ponder you not being in my life. You're cut. See ya. Let's go on. Speaking of, let's go on. I'm going on. Sorry. Jeez. And then we find out that the memory is the puzzle, which was just top notch. And I love the line when Jane is standing in the room with Kay. She has the puzzle and you know what's going to happen. And Jane says, this is where I begin, isn't it? And then she says, Kay, I don't know who you need me to be, which I thought was the most powerful line in the episode. Granted, the one later, I'm not afraid of you, also powerful. But just to say, Kay, I don't know who you need me to be. And she's all these different, there's all these fractured people inside of her, was just, holy shit. Then we get, Black Annis. Pretty cool design. Overall, they had this old, witch hag look with the Freddy Krueger gloves on each hand, and they were, you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean. She says, no man shall pass. Obviously for good reason, because a man is what created all of this. But then Cliff says, I'm not a man, starts ripping off his flesh, a la Poltergeist, except it wasn't as nightmare-inducing for me when I was a little child watching that. And then we get Jane standing on the edge of the well. Cliff goes in, pulls her off. We get Dad Nato, puzzle Dad Nato, flies up. Jane stands up to him, says, I'm not afraid of you. Then he disappears back down the well. Then we see both Cliff and Jane sitting on the train, walking down the tracks into the light, and they come back. Then Rita asks what happened in there. And then Cliff says, it's not my story to tell. Which, yeah. And that's all for my notes. Everything else are for my patrons over on Patreon. I liked how it ended. I like that Cliff, it wasn't, again, people that you can trust don't say you can trust me. They just show that you can trust them. And Cliff showed that he could earn Jane's trust. So, yeah. Also in that scene, though, we had Larry kind of standing with his back to the group with his hand on the table after the energy spirit went back into him. So I wonder if that's going to, obviously it's going to. We're going to get more further developments with the energy spirit and Larry and Rita's blob abilities and all that stuff. But overall, fantastic episode. It was really good. Everything was visually represented very well. And I'm very, very, very intrigued to see where we go from here in episode 10. I do apologize again for going down the rabbit hole and getting, I try not to be preachy when I get into my own life experiences. I try and keep it as vague, but when you get lost in something, it's like, for me, it's like when you like have like a thread and you just pull and it just starts unraveling. It's like, oh my God, that's what I just, so I do apologize that this isn't meant to be like me on the couch talking to a psychiatrist. And in many ways, each episode I can just kind of identify with the characters and what they're going through in some way. So thank you for putting up with it. I can't say it won't happen again. It might happen every episode. I don't know. But that is something for us to find out in the future. But now we're in the present. And presently, we're going to wrap this one up. As always, I don't have a fancy outro. So I'll simply say thank you for watching. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.